Let's get straight into it, because this story about Meghan Markle isn't just another headline, it's a bombshell that exposes exactly why so many people, even those closest to her, are walking away. Meghan Markle, the woman who built her entire public image around being a victim, around playing the misunderstood outsider, is now facing the one thing she never expected: her own friends turning against her. Yes, you heard that right, the same people who once defended her every move, the ones who smiled by her side in interviews, the ones who praised her in glossy magazines, are now quietly backing away, no longer comfortable being associated with her lies. And Meghan? She is absolutely fuming about it. When you've spent years building a reputation on half-truths, exaggerated sob stories, and carefully crafted narratives, there always comes a point when the people closest to you start noticing the cracks. And that's what's happening here. Friends who once bought into Meghan's "woe is me" routine are now realizing that her stories don't add up. They've seen the inconsistencies firsthand: the way she retells events with little twists, the way she paints herself as the hero or the victim depending on the audience. And the truth is, these friends no longer feel comfortable co-signing her version of reality. They've had enough of the drama, the manipulation, and the never-ending lies. Now, Meghan is raging, furious that the loyalty she thought was guaranteed is suddenly evaporating. She's used to controlling the narrative, spinning tales where she's always the misunderstood princess fighting against the cruel world. But when your own friends, the people you've leaned on, the ones you've used as character witnesses in your ongoing PR war, decide they don't want to play along anymore, that hits harder than any tabloid headline. Meghan doesn't just see this as friends stepping away, she sees it as betrayal, and betrayal is something she cannot handle. But let's be honest here, this is a mess she created herself. For years, Meghan has thrived on the art of manipulation. Whether it's shaping her image in Hollywood, navigating her entry into the royal family, or crafting those teary-eyed interviews that dominated global headlines, the playbook has always been the same: bend the truth until it suits the storyline. And that worked for a while because most people, especially close friends, don't want to call out a liar right away. They give them the benefit of the doubt. They make excuses, they go along with it, they let things slide. But the thing with lies is, eventually they stack up so high they collapse under their own weight. And Meghan's house of cards is collapsing, right in front of her. Friends who used to champion her are now embarrassed to be associated with her. Think about that. These are not enemies, not critics from the press, but people who once vouched for her character. And they're pulling back because they no longer want to be complicit in the circus she's created. They don't want to sit in rooms and nod politely when Meghan spins another tall tale about how cruelly she was treated, or how no one understands her struggle, or how the world is always against her. At some point, the mask slips, and even those closest to you realize they're enabling behavior that is toxic and manipulative. That's what's happening here. And Meghan can't stand it. This isn't just about losing friends, it's about losing control. For someone like Meghan, control is everything. Controlling the narrative, controlling how people see her, controlling the emotional temperature of every room she walks into. But when your friends start whispering behind your back, when they stop showing up to your events, when they politely decline invitations because they don't want to be caught in your mess, that's when you know the tide has turned. And for Meghan, who's built her entire existence on carefully staged alliances, that kind of rejection cuts deep. The irony is almost poetic. Meghan Markle has spent years accusing others of betrayal, of not standing by her, of being unsupportive. Yet here she is, facing the reality that it's her own lies that are pushing people away. It's not the media, it's not the royal family, it's not some shadowy group of haters. It's Meghan's own behavior. Her refusal to be honest, her constant need to manipulate and dramatize, is what's driving her friends to distance themselves. And the fact that Meghan is fuming about it only shows how out of touch she really is. She doesn't see this as a wake-up call to reflect or change, she sees it as a personal attack, proof that everyone is out to get her once again. But let's be clear, these friends aren't leaving because they suddenly dislike Meghan as a person. They're leaving because they no longer want to be part of the lie. Imagine being in a friendship where every story you hear has a twist, where every conversation feels rehearsed, where you're never quite sure what's real and what's staged. That gets exhausting. That wears people down. And sooner or later, even the most loyal friends reach a breaking point. Meghan's friends have reached theirs, and now Meghan is paying the price. This is the fallout of a life built on spin. For years, Meghan Markle has presented herself as a victim, a survivor, a misunderstood woman fighting against powerful forces. And while that narrative played well for headlines and interviews, it doesn't hold up in real relationships. Because real relationships require trust, honesty, and authenticity, three things Meghan has consistently struggled with. Friends can forgive mistakes, they can forgive flaws, but what they won't forgive is being lied to over and over again. That's the line Meghan has crossed, and now she's discovering that not even her inner circle is willing to cover for her anymore.